You are watching Endeavor TV with the Acer Aspire 1 1410 TG netbook, which has a 14-inch display and an SSD by Intel with 160 GB of storage. As you can see here, we have Windows 7 Home Premium installed, Intel SU7300 processor with 1.3 gigahertz, an ATI graphics card which has its own memory, 4 gigs of memory integrated, and a 6-cell 5800 milliamp battery, Bluetooth and wireless BGN is inside also. This doesn't have 3G, so let's get to the unboxing. This is the silver version, as you can see, 14-inch glossy display, so not the best if you want to use it outside, but I will test that later also. So let's start off with the device itself. I will show that later to you. Then we have a warranty, passport and all kinds of paper. It doesn't have a recovery CD, so you should make one for yourself after you start it the first time. Then this is the PSU, pretty big, and if you take the cable also, it's going to be even bigger. The whole device is actually only 1.9 kilograms or 4.2 pounds, but with this it should be about 4.7 pounds, so this is pretty heavy and pretty big. Could be smaller, but I'm only used to netbooks, so I'm not sure how big the other companies make their PSUs. Then we have the battery. As I said, I already unboxed it in German. This has 5800 milliamps or 63 watt hours and should last around 8 hours. This is it from the box. So let's take a look at the device itself. The Acer 1410 TG with an Intel SSD. Actually, the price is pretty cheap here in Germany. It's only 630 euros. That should be around $800. And if you put in the battery, you can see it's pretty slim from the beginning to the end, but this is the front. And let's take a look at the plugs and ports. We have one USB, a fan, VGA, HDMI, another USB, and microphone and headphone port. On the front we have a multi-card reader with a little dummy inside. The card reader reads SD cards, SDHC cards, Sony Memory Stick Pro and XD by Olympus. Then on the other side there's an optical drive which doesn't have a button. The button is above the keyboard. Then we have another USB LAN port, power and Kensington lock. And on the back there was only the battery. On the bottom, as you can see, we have a lot of space to change the RAM. There's 2 slots and 4 gigabytes in turn already, but you can upgrade it to 8 gigs, I think. Then there's of course the hard drive, or in this case the SSD, and the wireless card under this. And here is a little fan, and the drive is sticking out a little bit, but yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Then if we open up the whole device, you can see the glossy display, 14.0 inch. You can see my garden in the background, and on the top there is a 1.3 megapixel camera. The bezel is pretty slim, and the keyboard is a floating keyboard by Acer. It's full size, and here on the side you have even extra buttons for position 1 and page up and down and things like that. It's not too loud. It's a little bit glossy, which is interesting, so you can see some fingerprints, but not as glossy as the display. Then you have a multi-touch touchpad, which is pretty big. It's really responsive, and you can turn it on and off here on the side. And then we have the mouse buttons here, which is a single mouse button, but the left and right key works pretty well. So, oh yeah, then we have touch buttons for wireless, documents, power saving, and LED for the hard drive movement or SSD usage. This is the eject button. It doesn't work when the device is off. And there is the speakers right here on the top. As you can see, we have 8 hours of battery. And now I'm going to compare it to a 10-inch netbook, even though 14-inch and 10-inch isn't really the same category. As you can see, 10 inch is of course a lot smaller. This has 1.2 kilograms, this 1.9, around the same battery life. And if you would take two netbooks, it would be around one of these 14-inch Timeline Acer Aspire ones. But the Acer one is actually slimmer than the netbook. If you look at the end here, you can see the netbook is thicker. The cheapest Acer's 1001px, so this is interesting. And yeah, I'd rather take this one to work and this one just on the go, but let's see how long the battery really lasts and how well you can read it at outdoors. So this was Untitled TV with the Acer Aspire 1 1410TG. Thank you for watching. It's available for $800 with an SSD or with a regular hard drive.